Hello, folks. Just an update for anybody interested or thinks they're going to be having this nuclear cardiac stress test where they inject you. And I found out, like, just to clarify, the drug is technetium, which is used as a radio tracer to make you radioactive to be able to it emits gamma rays, I believe, by the way, is what I read. So it's called technetium, is most commonly used. And it has a half-life of 6 hours. So every 6 hours, it should decay in halves. So that first video that I shot was about 8:20 a.m. this morning on Saturday, a day after, almost 24 hours after my second day test. So I had 24 hours of urinating and passing stool for it to leave the body. Okay, so this is why I wanted to do it about 6 hours later. It's now about, let me check my watch, exactly almost 6 hours later. And I believe this number in counts per minute, same spot over my chest. Today I'm just taking it easy today. Nothing. The test was called for because I had a slightly irregular. Um, I think it was a T wave on my last EKG. It wasn't any cause for concern, but they just wanted to rule it out. It looks like there's obviously they when they do these tests, if they find something immediate, like they think you have a clogged artery, they will immediately rush you to the cath lab to if they to find the obviously they identify the location of the stricture of cardiac plaque buildup where it's restricting one of the blood vessels, the arteries to the heart, and then you're taken to the cath lab. So when they take you to these tests, there's a cardiologist reading these ASAP, so right away if there's a major problem. Usually, you're rushed into the cardio cath lab. So it's I haven't gotten any negative calls, and the technician I kind of know her through my through various ways. So she kind of just pointed out that so far we're looking okay. So obviously, I'm 59 in a month, so we'll have to get the final results. But otherwise, I'm healthy. I mean, I've had asthmatic bronchitis all my life, so shortness of breath. I had gone on for scans because when you talk about shortness of breath and light chest pain, even in my 20s, they had to rule out cardiac. And I think at 45, I had this test, but it was one day. Now, my BMI is a bit high, so it's a 2 day. And sometimes they just do a 2 day because they want clear, studies. They want a resting on the second day. So I am not an advocate for pumping the body with any kind of radiation. Again, I know this in the medical industry is considered safe. Technetium and it decays fast from the body. You like it's like the literature will tell you you urinate it out. That's why I tell you to keep pounding the water and through stool. You pass it through stool. So going to the bathroom as often as possible is good. And then you got the natural decay rate of halves. So every 6 hours being half. So it is going down considerably. I mean, like I said in the previous video I just uploaded about 6 hours ago, is that, as soon as I came in the house, I had them all fired up because these are run on 9-volt batteries and they last, very long time. Like this one is the inspector with the pancake style detector, and it you can let it run for a long time. It's one of those detectors that can constantly be scanning. Now, um, yeah, this is I did have this test at 47, 48. Sometimes I think I realize sometimes it's while I'm an advocate, a technical person, and an advocate for a hard data tests. The thing is that as we age, you're gonna find it seems that no every time I go in for a regular test, they find something else to be of concern. I ran through a gamut of tests, and thank God, nothing ever comes to it, and it's a false positive or something else. My understanding is these slightly irregular T waves from unknown factors, as that report said, is obviously you want to pursue it and look at it, but I've not had chest pains. I've not had shortness of breath. I walk the dogs. I have a Shiba and like another type similar dog, and I start them out walking even on a warm summer day, and I'm walking like an hour and a half fast. It's never really helped me lose weight, but I think it's helped me stay in health. So, and I'm not even a big eater. I think it's just as I've gotten older, my slower metabolism's caught up, and it's get the belly here. So, anyways, yeah. So this is about 6 hours. I just wanted to document this. This is probably stuff you won't see too much of. One, you got to have a Geiger counter. Two, I have probably an overly sensitive Geiger counter with it being a pancake tube style detector, just like a 20 type regular tube, Russian tube, which is ironic given the days we are in right now, but is like good for picking up radiation. So um, I am a little. It's still a little concerning to be injected with any type of isotope, but this has been done for decades now, and it's considered safe. As I said in my video before, there are some tests where they inject you with a different type of isotope, or probably maybe it's more or a different type of isotope. I'm not a medical person, so I don't know the exact facts of this. Um, Though, I worked in a hospital, an IT, around 25 years, a large hospital, and I picked up from, through a lot of the stuff that I had to work on computers, like in the cardiac cath lab, but that doesn't make me a doctor by any means or any kind of cardiac knowledgeable. But it's just what I've researched and what of the doctors I work with while I was fixing their computers and the nurses has told me. And but when you're a patient, it's still a little bit alarming to see yourself pumped with this much radiation because as if you follow my channel, I get into watches. I think it's really cool, radium and tritium. I love the research of that, the illumination that through history that that has been used to be able to see things at night, like especially in the military, where military men needed to see their watches in the trenches and stuff. And it's very fascinating. But when you get it injected in you, and then kind of like it's kind of makes you think. You hope and pray that they've done their research and the risks are outweighed by the rewards. Of course, I mean, obviously with these type of studies, they can find. Like I said, if they found the first day you're there, they would have found like a blockage or something. They would have rushed you right up to the cardio cath lab to get you, to get the stent in there to open up the flow again. So I don't, this is, I'm going to document this in 6 hours from now. I just wanted to, I think it'd be interesting to show people, like I said, many probably don't have a radiation detector. And this is pretty much, I would say, a higher end one. This would be more like what like fire departments would use. Actually, this one being a pancake tube one, I don't know who the seller was. I thought this was another place I think it was in Maine or something like that, who used these, maybe a fire department or something. But it was, again, this one was like new old stock, just like my other, which is the lighter version of this one. It looks exactly the same, but it says Inspector 50, and it's got that LND 712 tube, which is about that big. If I can get my hand to the thing, it's about that big, and it sits right here in the back of behind the LCD screen, whereas this is a big pancake, like a 2-inch pancake. And this is overly sensitive, and it's on my chest and over my body parts, and but yeah, it's you can see it kind of bouncing back and forth at different rates, but every 6 hours this number should deplete. Now, of course, it was around 2.5, 2.6, 2.6 CPM. What are we at now? Well, maybe, the thing is that now, if I put it directly over my chest, we'll see where it kind of calms down. But yeah, it's calming down. So it could be like they say, you're getting into your colon without being gross. I know this might be, but I'm trying to be medical here. If I get closer to my stomach, that's getting to my intestine, and the numbers go up a bit. So I find that interesting, and that's probably how it secretes out of the body. So, pound of shredded wheat if you like shredded wheat cereal or anything with high fiber, and Maybe it'll help you speed it out of your body faster and pound the water. That's the thing. Stay away from the coffee. I love coffee, but I even noticed today I haven't been urinating because I've been pounding the coffee because I haven't had it for 2 days. I don't know why, because there's no diet restrictions really, other than you can't on the stress test you can't have caffeine 12 hours before because not on the actual scan portion of it. It's when they get you on the treadmill and wire you up. They're trying to find your resting heart rate, and then they're trying to find your target heart rate on the treadmill to get your heart rate up to whatever your target is based on your age. And then they want to see it come back down after you get off the treadmill. And they're gauging all that. Now, if you dump a bunch of caffeine 2 hours before the test, that could artificially, obviously it increases your heart rate. So that's why they say no caffeine, because it can influence the test accuracy. So, like I said, let me get it directly over my chest. Let's see if it comes down to about 27. Somebody posted on my last video, one person, that it's crazy, and it does seem crazy, but this is what the medical industry tells us is safe. Hope this is another thing that doesn't cause problems later on down the road. But I've already had one of these tests before. I think the problem is I think it's if the insurance proves it. I think if you fit that age demographic of adult, if they want to run you through these tests. It seems like just the regular routine now. It's so routine to do this to people to just rule out any heart problems, any pumping issues and stuff like that. So, but it certainly doesn't feel good being injected with this much radiation. I love studying radiation. I think it's fascinating seeing it on watches. Like I said, I have an old Rolex from 1960, an Oyster date, that if I take out, it pegs a few of my other Geiger counters. I think this one goes pretty high. It doesn't really max out, but it actually maxes out on some of my lower end Geiger counters, because I do collect them. Like I said in my previous video, I do collect Geiger counters. So some of the cheaper ones seem to just max out real quick and give up the ghost, so to speak. Whereas this one, I think will keep going. So, yeah, see, so here's my doggy right here, and he wants to just be by me all the time. And I feel so bad because he's just used to being on my side no matter where I move in the house, and I want to get in the car and take him to the park. And again, I know they said that it's safe, although it depends on what research you read, because some say to stay away, even with this test, from small children, and that would include pets that are sensitive to radiation exposure. So I don't want to induce that. So I'm trying to kind of push him away in a nice way to kind of stay a little bit distant, and it's just not something he's normally accustomed to. He's my right-hand man. Yogi. Yeah, he's a Shiba, so he's very, very, always by my side, since I retired a couple years ago, early retired. He's always with me. So it's kind of it's just more of a mental issue. I'm just not a believer everything I'm spoon-fed. All I'm seeing is gamma, I'm emitting gamma and x-rays possibly. I don't know if it's mostly gamma or x-rays. Obviously, like I said in the previous video, it's to be able to make you radioactive, and the machine you lay in. And I was incorrect when I said the first part of the test, you basically have your head sticking out, but it's pretty close to your chin. And then, of course, the last part of the test is they want to run you through a regular CT, which that machine incorporates both a ability to pick up emitting radiation for this set test, like a PET scan, and then also it runs you through a CT, which it's part of the machine. And that one you do go into a tube, so you have to kind of. That part is only about less than a minute, maybe around a minute, but the actual scan is about 13 minutes for this machine. And it's the same machine I've seen on other videos and research, and somehow they rate it from anywhere from 8 to 13 minutes to do the regular heart scan with the radioactive tracer part. So anyways, I'll come back in 6 hours. We'll see where this number is. As you can see, I moved it higher on my chest. It's interesting because I moved it up higher where the detector is, and then we're going over here. Now, it's like I said, it's bouncing all around. I'll push it more closer to my stomach. Yep. So it is secreted through the intestines and stuff like that, through your fecal matter, your feces. I don't even want to be gross to people, but I'm just trying to help people out to understand. It's good to pound the water and to make sure you're going to the bathroom regularly. right after the test is finalized, and it helps with on top of the natural every 6 hour decay that it decays itself back to, it's trying to get to a different state of depletion. So end state of depletion. So I'll come back in 6 hours and film some more. And any technical people or medical people want to correct me, feel free to do it. I'm no expert, but I'm just going by what I've learned thus far. So, okay, see you in a bit.